Hey guys, I really thought that you guys were going to ask me questions that are mostly professional, but well, what can I say? I agreed to answer the questions, so I will answer them. Now, I tried to note them down so that I don't mess them up. So, we're going to start. Sorry, I didn't announce that I was going to answer the questions today, but since. Sorry. Since most of the questions were, I thought I'll get like more like professional questions, but most of the questions I got were kind of, about me and my experience. So I thought, I don't need to announce that like so much. Hey, how's Corona taking you over? I don't have coronavirus, thank God, and neither does any person I know, so I guess that's good. Now, most of the questions I got are actually not like much of a. Now, for all of you guys who like don't know, I live in Pakistan now, so most of the questions I got are on. Let me see. What do you love most about Pakistan? How long have you been in Pakistan? What do you do by profession? What's your favorite food in Pakistan? What do you dislike? Okay, let's start. Okay, my phone is kind of shaky. I really can't have my phone in one place. Okay, I'm just going to do this, I guess. So let's start. What do you love? What do you love most about Pakistan? I think it is the people. Like, I would go with the people. There are so many things I love in Pakistan, but I would go with the people. Like to be honest, when you look at the propaganda or the news about this country, like it's crazy. It's crazy. And then when you come to this country, you realize this country has like really. I don't know about other people's experience, but I really have met the most amazing people like in Pakistan. I don't know about other people. Again, I'm telling you guys, I don't want anyone coming up to me like, oh, this is what I experienced here and all that. Because initially I didn't even plan to stay here. I didn't plan to stay in Pakistan. Like even visiting was kind of like me being, crazy for adventure. And I'm like, okay, if everyone says the country's scary, I will go there. Like you get my point. Like I'm that kind of person for a lot of things. So I couldn't tell my parents that I was going to Pakistan. So I got the visa for Pakistan from Nairobi, Kenya. And then let me see. Like my graduation was on 20th. My graduation was on 20th, and I got a ticket for Pakistan on 23rd. 23rd. So I didn't tell anyone, like anyone in my family, that I was going to go to Pakistan until on 20th on my graduation party. On my graduation party, that is when I told my parents at the end of the day, I told them, in a few days, I'm going to Pakistan. And everyone was like shocked. Everyone lost it. They were like, no, you're not going to do that. No, you're not going to do that. You're not allowed to do that. What do you mean you're going to Pakistan? Like that, the country is not even safe. Where are you going? Like it was like really, really, messed up. But it was at the end of the day, I was like, listen, I'm really tired. It is my graduation. I woke up so early. I graduated from Makerere University. So they wake up so early for graduation. Like, I think 5 o'clock. I think we had to be there, but I'm really not sure. But it was really like early. So, when I told my parents, I told my family like at the end of the day, they were just driving me back, and everyone was like, "No, you're not going to do that." I said, yeah, I'm going to do that because I already have a ticket and visa. I didn't tell anyone. I traveled to Nairobi, got the visa done. I didn't tell. Like, it was all kind of like, you guys really won't understand that. Anyways, it was a long story. No one knew that I would go this far, like, and do that. And then I came here. Of course, it was scary. It was like, it was really, really messed up. And like, not being able to see any person like anywhere who looks like you is really insane. Like, for the first time, I've been to, like, other countries before. I was in other countries before, but I never really went to a country where I don't get to see any person who looks like me, like, like that along. So, coming to Pakistan was kind of shocking. And, I was really, like, my nerves were, like, really, really, like, on the, like, a verge of breaking. But I really got to meet, like, amazing people. I don't even know. Yes, I would definitely say that what do I love most about Pakistan? It is the people. It is the people. Like, I didn't plan to stay here, and I've stayed there since I've like been, well, I've gone back, but I mean, I've loved this country, and I've been in this country since that time. I just came to visit, and I ended up, moving in. Okay. Look, let me see. I'll just read a few. I hope everything is good with you. I hope everything is good for you back home. Yeah, everything is good. Everything is good. Hi, Becky. Hi, Rachel. So that was like the first question. The first question is people. I would go with the people. And then I'll go to the second question. How long have you been in Pakistan? Well, like I told you guys, first time I came to Pakistan was in 2016, and I've been out but still came back to this country. So since then, you can say I've been around here. Okay, the other question is, what do you do by profession? I'm a counselor by profession. I graduated in social sciences, so I'm a counselor. I've been a counselor for like since I graduated. I've been practicing counseling last 2 years and a half. Last 2 years and a half. Yeah, last 2 years and a half. I've also had like public speaking, still in the same core of counseling. I do social work. Actually, when it comes to social work and counseling, you would say that is something that I've done like for a long time, since I was almost 15, I would say. No, I don't know. I'm not really sure. I had my first like trip, like social work trip in Form, I think it was Form 3, like Form 3, or like I think around Form 3, a friend of mine was doing like an outreach program in some like villages in Mitiana district, and I went there. Yeah, I went with them. It was under church. I can't really remember the name. I think it was, no, it was not under, like, I don't know. I went with the Timothy. Well, I think so. I think first time. I really don't remember. Anyway, that is it. I think the first time was that, and then The second time was I was supposed to go again. I was around 16 or 17, and we had to visit like a children's home, like very small children. One American lady was, having a home, like children's home, and I went there. We were supposed to pick one baby, take that baby to the hospital, and drop the baby back. I think that was like my first kind of dialect interaction, you can say, with the social public center for kids and all that. Anyways, from that point, like I would, and then we had a trip. We had another trip. I think it was like 2. We had like a camping 2 or 3. 2 or 3. I think we had like 3 or like that. Yeah, because we were going to school. We were still in junior high school. So we had like 2 trips, I think 2 trips, and then we had in college we had other 2 like camping trips. So that was like, you can say, all that work was under Hope for the Needy. A friend of mine runs that NGO, is like a director of that NGO. Yeah, we got to do that under that NGO. Yeah, I think for social work, like that is the basic, professional introduction, I would say. And that was like in junior high school and senior high school. And then yeah, I think that's it. For humanitarianism, I would say my mom introduced me to humanitarianism. My mom is a type of person who used to adopt like each and every like child. I would say my mom, I think my mom was the person who really, got me into this like humanitarianism work. She used to adopt as many kids as, like, whoever wanted a home. My mom would get them to our house. She had other adopted kids. Like, how our house used to have like not less than, you can say, 10 to 15 kids like at a time. So I would say my mom kind of, I got that from my mom. Let's see. That is a bit of like, professional background, and I've been doing most of that until this time. Well, like I kind of like relaxed for the past, some years. I can't say relaxed, but I don't even know how to put it. Anyways, I would say that yes, I'm married. And I think my husband is not the kind of person who really understands or supports the concept of, social work so much. But he has been supportive. He has, helped me in a lot of social work. But I feel like, I kind of got laid back in a lot of those things, thanks to him. But we've still done something. I would say I've still been part of that as well. So that's what I do, like, for a living. Yes, Sannan, I'm married. Okay. What's your favorite food in Pakistan? My favorite food in Pakistan, like, I love a lot of Pakistan food, so I don't know which one is my favorite. Like, I would say I would go with the harissa. No. But harissa doesn't. I mean, I love paratha. I I love paratha. I love the mutton with yogurt. I love egg fry. I love harissa. I love biryani, but I think I don't like the chicken in biryani so much. But I love biryani. I love biryani rice. Not the chicken, but biryani. I love biryani. I love mutton. Like in Pakistan, they eat a lot of mutton. Okay. I really love a lot of Pakistan foods. Like, I can't lie to you guys. Yeah, there are some which kind of like, I don't get properly with my stomach, but for most of it, I love Pakistan food. I eat a lot of it. I think another thing would be because like, there is no much option. Like the only food that is eaten in Pakistan and is also eaten in Uganda and Rwanda, like the countries I lived in, is rice. Like rice is the only common thing between my African countries and Pakistan. Like the rest is totally chicken too, rice, chicken, because we don't eat mutton so much, and here they eat like mutton so much in meat. For food, I can't really single out. I really love food. I love food. I'm a foodie. Actually, I will tell you guys the reason why. The reason why I got married was because my husband is a chef. So I married that guy simply because I love food. So yeah, that is. No, actually, he's not a chef. He was a chef by profession. So when I was planning to marry him, what was in my head was, different food ideas. But I will tell you, I've never been disappointed. When it comes to food, I've never been disappointed. I really have like a full Kashmiri house. There's a lot of food and I eat a lot of food. Okay. Let me see. Going on. Okay. SANNAN, I'm about to block you. I'm about to block you because you really, I love you for being the most supporter, an amazing supporter, but at the same time, you mess up my work. So, moving on, let's see. What do you dislike about Pakistan? What do you dislike about Pakistan? I think I would go with the weather. Like the weather in Pakistan is really, extreme. Sometimes it is like cold, like really, extra cold. Sometimes, according to my body temperature, according to my body, I don't know. There are the times it is, too hot with a lot of humid. I've become so allergic to so many things. Like for the time I've lived in Pakistan, I don't know if you guys can see, but my face has a lot of things. But usually I'm not even sure. Like I'm allergic to a lot of things that I'm not even sure how to specify them anymore. So yeah. In a war at war. SANNAN, seriously. That is complete Batamese. Like you really just Batamesing around here. That is completely Batamese. Do you speak Urdu? No. I don't speak Urdu, but I can understand like a little bit. I can understand a little bit. I feel like I can't be lost in Pakistan. Like with that little Urdu I have, I feel like I can, go along. If I know Chalo, I know. Let me see.
Don't tell everything, you know.
Okay, I can't tell you guys because then you guys will know my only like vocabulary. But no, I know a bit. I know greetings. I know greetings. I know, Kiale, Metiku, Pani, Pani, Kana, Jaldi, Chalo. Like, I really can't be lost. That is one thing that I mean, if there is Karim in the area, definitely. Oh, let's see. What do you dislike about Pakistan? Oh, that was the question. Sorry, I was answering like weather. The weather is really really extreme, like for me. So I'll definitely go with the weather, but I can also add like there is a strong class system in Pakistan. Like I really have been to like a few countries. I was in a few countries before I came to Pakistan. Then coming to Pakistan, there's a strong class system. Like people really, really identify others by their class in the society. There is I think that is the elite, like upper class, and there is, considered middle class, and then they're the ones that they consider low. I don't even know how to put it. Like I God, like it is really really strong that those like in upper class cannot even marry in like middle class, and those in middle class cannot, like there is so much, I don't know how to even say it. Like it is really messed up. It is really messed up. And like people will treat you like different if you have money. Not even different. Like I mean, we like everywhere in the world, there is a bit extra cheesiness, and you can say respect to people who are rich, but like in Pakistan it is like 5 times like different. You guys have no idea. So like that is one of the thing. If anyone plans to live in Pakistan, like it's amazing. You have a lot of experience. I mean, you don't have like so much entertainment other than foods and restaurant and stuff, but you need to have money if you really want to. I don't know how to say it. Yeah, it's kind of messed up. It's kind of messed up. I don't know how to explain it to you guys, but you need money in Pakistan, because if you don't have money, then a lot of people will disregard you, even like in the family. Okay. Let's leave that. Anyway, class system and weather. Those are like my things I dislike in Pakistan. I'm going to do one last question. What is the difference between your country and Pakistan? My country and Pakistan. Well, like I lived in Uganda, I lived in Rwanda. I didn't get my dual citizenship for Rwanda, but that is where my paternal family is. And since I spent more time in Uganda, so I'm going to go with Uganda. Uganda and Pakistan. Infrastructure-wise, I mean size, like Pakistan is really, really big. You can say 3 times the size of Uganda. Like Pakistan is 3 times, yeah, 3 times the size of Uganda. Like that's how big. I think even more. I think even more. So it's a really, really huge country. Like Pakistan is a really, really huge country compared to my country. So I won't go so much into, uh, like revenues and stuff. I don't even know. Like I won't look so much at the economy because like the countries don't compare like at all. Like Pakistan has different like industrial, zones and all that, and production of different types of goods, which of course is not in Uganda. Uganda we have like few factories that produce basic necessary items. So I think for that I can't compare. Infrastructure wise, since our country is like really small, still we don't have like so many infrastructures because in the city, like in the capital, you can say Kampala has, somewhat really amazing like infrastructures, but when you go and like highways throughout the country are really amazing. Like major, cities, you can Mbarara is really good. I've been to like very few. Jinja is much better. Like there's so many cities in Kampala, in Uganda, but since Uganda, like I've said, is very small, I can't really compare it so much to Pakistan. That is the truth. Pakistan is really, really big. It is like very huge. What else can I use for comparison? Yeah, like I would talk about like Pakistan Army because that is one thing that has really, really, amazed me so much. So Pakistan has the most like amazing, no, not amazing, has the most organized army that I've ever seen or read. Like I don't even know. Like I think Pakistan army has to be the the richest body in the country. Like if they own a cantonment in almost every even tiny city, like cantonments are like the main areas where most of the things are. Well, there are societies too. There are societies too, of course. Yeah, I would say like Pakistan Army is really something else. Like they're so organized. Like I'm telling you, they're so organized. They have really, really big societies that are controlled really well. Like I've really never seen, like before, especially in my life, I never used to like I had never growing up been like near like army officers, especially. Like I mean, where we lived, there was a barracks. So my mom was friends with the head of that army barracks, but like that was it. I think a few times like we would meet them, but on day offs as civilians. So kind of not really. So my first time really being closer to like army officers and the army was in Pakistan, and they were really the most like amazing people. You would never know if you don't find them like in uniforms, and like it is really, really something that I admire so much, because that kind of organization I feel like is what every country needs, like army being independent, having its own resources, being that organized, really, really helps a lot, especially for developing countries or underdeveloped countries. So yeah, that is like another difference is in food. Another difference is in food. Like in Pakistan, they have like everything has oil. Like most of the things have oil, like a lot of oil in cooking, which of course we don't do. Like in Uganda, even Rwanda, we have so many like food options than in Pakistan. In Pakistan, they only have chapatis. Chapatis have different categories: naan, paratha, roti, like different categories. But it is still chapatis, so they have only chapatis and rice. Like you have to choose on those ones. So yeah, in Uganda we have like so many things. We have matoke, we have cassava, we have sweet potatoes is a different type of sweet potatoes. What you guys have in Pakistan, that is not sweet potatoes. That is something else. I totally have no idea what that is. We have a lot of things when it comes to food. We still have rice. We have yams, like different type of yams, not the ones that you guys have here. Like we have like huge varieties of food, like amazing food. And since most of our food is like steam cooked, it is really, really nutritious than the food that is in Pakistan. And it is the same with sauces. Like we have so many options that you guys don't have here, like unfortunately. So if there's one thing that I miss so much, like staying in Pakistan, that is like the food. There is very, very, very less options here compared to Uganda. Yeah, I think that's it. Actually, I had planned to talk about. I had planned to answer these questions like another time, but I thought to start with the questions and then end with the little discussion on anxiety, especially during this time. Sannan, can you tell me how much time have we used? I'm trying to use 1 hour. I don't know how much time I've used now. I forgot to check the time in starting. Anyway, I'll still talk about it because it is really important. Especially the reason why I thought so much about talking about anxiety during this time was because a friend of mine you're a bad speaker, you don't read comments. Okay, Sannan, you like the only one commenting. That is why now, are you the only one commenting and I get to read like your comments? No, not licensed to be you don't have. Okay, guys, just don't pay attention to Sannan. Sannan is, my best friend and one crazy guy I know. So you guys don't pay attention to him. Okay. Let's talk a little bit about anxiety, especially during this time of lockdowns and isolation. I didn't want to tell you guys, but the reason why I especially wanted to talk about this was because this situation we live in right now is kind of triggering all kinds of social and psychological disorders that people had. So Like I thought, maybe talking about it right now a bit might be able to help someone. So, like as human beings, we always burdened when we don't get to choose. Now, in situations like this, like let me change the way like I should explain it. You see, a human mind loves to, tasks and challenges and everything. Okay, that is just something that helps us grow, that helps us makes life exciting. Okay, it is normal, but when it comes without our approval or planning, it becomes a threat. So people get anxious. People get uncomfortable. I won't say afraid. Not everyone, is afraid in situations like this. I'm trying to use like a general explanation, but a lot of people, get really, really uncomfortable with the changes that they didn't plan for. Like we're in a situation right now where, the people had to travel like very fast to like go back to their homes. There were lockdowns, shift in like some people lost their jobs. Some like that whole change happened so fast that people got really really anxious with the change. So for people who already had different types of psychological stress or depression or disorders in general, this is something that is really hard to take. Because just imagine you're already fighting like one insect that is trying to drive you down, and then all of a sudden you don't even have the road even anymore. There's no much movement, there's no access to facilities, there's no like all these things, all these changes have kind of like affected people's lives in a way that was never planned for, and therefore increased the levels of frustration and anxiousness to the extent that some people like are really almost taking their own life, like it is that bad. Not really, almost actually try to take their own life. That is what is happening recently. For a long time we used to survive like in the way that we knew very well. If you didn't want to, let's say, talk to people in your house, you could just do your work and then hang out later with your friends or whoever you want. So there was a good isolation with people around us that we didn't want to interact with, which is not there anymore. Now we have to face all types of discomfort, especially people who have people around that they're not so much you can not really, I wouldn't say comfortable with, I would say different. Or in a disagreement with. So I actually thought that it was going to be fast, that I was going to talk about it fast and I'd leave, but just imagining like the situation like a friend of mine had yesterday kind of makes me literally anyways, let's continue. Greetings from Mitiana and Deva Hamikata. Hey, a long time. How are you? How have you been? How is Mitiana? I really miss that place. I miss Mitiana so much. That's my home. Well, moving on. Here are the few things that I want you guys to always remember when it comes to situations of anxiousness. Okay, anxiety is simply your body telling you that there is a change. It is not something that is telling you that you can't do this, or the failure, or you're not good enough, or anxiety has nothing to do with that. That is something that is natural. It is simply your body sending you signals, it's a call for action. I understand with the rest of things happening, it is really hard to be positive in the situation of panic or disappointment or disagreement or heartbreak. But you really have to understand the real reason we get anxious, in the right way. It has nothing to do with your personality. It is just system, body system. It's just how the body works. So instead of panicking, I really hope that we get to understand that is simply a call for action, and act on that. There are few things that can be done, especially in isolation. There are few things that we can do whenever you feel anxious. Okay, I give you guys according to accessibility. For people who can write, you can always pen down whatever is going on in your mind. Whenever things are not going so well, or you really having lots of challenges, or especially in this situation where we're in isolation, people have lost jobs, it is better to every day just sit down and write whatever is happening. Just take it out of your head, because that is one of the things that drive people to extremes. Those things keep piling up, and all that pain and negativity starts breaking down your normal functioning tissues in the brain or mind, you can say. It is really serious. The reason why I'm saying this, because right now we have people ending their lives. You have people committing suicide. They are not doing it because they don't want to live. They just want to end the pain. But you see, that pain is not made up of one event. It's just different events that are mixed right now, entangled into each other as a big bomb. That is why I'm telling you guys that whatever happens, I'm trying to use easy, quick things that a person can do. You can always write down. I will tell you guys. One of the things I do, even myself, at this age, and one of the things that I never stopped doing. I don't do it often, depends on how aggressive the situation is. I always write letters to myself, whenever things are really going rough. I understand there's a lot of masculinity kind of conflicts when it comes to this, but I'm telling you, most of these psychological disorders eat people the same way. Whether you're a man or woman, it destroys you the same way. Both men and women are committing suicide almost on the same rate. So before you go to even, who writes down, I'm a guy, I'm a man, I'm not supposed to write this down. Well, just understand that when it comes to disorders, whether they're on the man or on the woman, they are the same. So something as simple as letting things in your head out, because I understand there's a question of trust, because I would say just talk to the person you trust, but how many people do you trust, lately? There's a bit of distance, even in marriages and relationships and couples. You can't really just, pour everything out on the other person. So I would really suggest just penning down whatever you're going through. Just write it down. Write letters to yourself. Like, just get it out. For those who have people you trust, talk to them. Talk to them whenever you're anxious. Talk to them whenever things are difficult. Talk to them whenever, discomfort is building up. Just communicate with someone. Before you pick up a drug, before you pick up an alcohol, before you pick up like anything that is unhealthy that you're going to even regret later, first, try the simplest and easiest, measure. One of them is writing down. I'm telling you guys because I've done this myself, so I know how it works. So, like, that is one. Talking to a person, writing down, and then the third thing we can go to is physical exercise, because a lot of times actually our mental stress comes from our physical health. If you're not physically healthy, you don't have proper flow of blood to your brain and any other part where it is needed. So that alone creates its own tension like in the body, that you end up feeling depressed or stressed or paranoid and frustrated all the time without even having like a clear reason. So physical health is really, really important when it comes to that. And for women, we even have hormones. Like for women, I'm not really, really sure with the men, but with the women, we easily get hormonal imbalance from stress. So for women, anxiety, depression, and all these things are not only like disturbing you for a short time, they're messing up your hormones, they're messing up your cycle, they're messing up everything. That is why you find a lot of people who have gained so much weight without even like in a short time. You just saw them and then you see them again and boom. That is how usually, what happens when you get hormonal imbalance. There's so many side effects. Anyways, like I really just hope that no one gets to lose their life in this time of crisis or even after. I just hope no one gets to lose their loved ones. I just hope that no one gets to continue in this discomfort. I know it is really hard right now. Some people have lost work. Some people have to live in disagreement. Like, we already have problems, like in marriages, with families, like we already have existing problems. So adding on to, all this anxiety is really creating, a lot of, additional stress on each and every person. But there are so many other things we can do to actually, stay healthy in this situation. So exercises, you can, choose whichever exercise you want according to your, accessibility, place. Some people can run, some people can, jog, some people can just walk. Some people can do like push up at home in their house. Some people can do, jumping and, all that. Some people can, do body stretches, like whatever you can do according to your, you can check on if you're online right now, it means you have a phone. It means you can check on the internet. Like, those things are there. That is the beauty of, our, you can say, generation right now. We have access to all the information. So when it comes to this, you can still get all the guideline and the help you need to really deal with this. Now, another thing that, I would talk about, I don't want to really call them distractions. These are things that keep your mind busy. Like, I feel like when you call them distractions, they kind of lose meaning. No, I want to mean things that can keep your life busy. It can be reading, it can be fixing things, it can be some like technical work around your house, it can be gardening, it can be like whatever you can do to keep your mind busy in this time. It can be cooking, it can be trying out new recipes, it can be repainting the house. Like whatever you can do, please do it. First of all, it, of course, helps you in the way because you're doing something that is productive. And another thing, it keeps your mind busy, with something else other than the, stress and, struggles of the world that we're going through right now. So, okay, I guess that's it. That's it for tonight. I'm sure I've finished the 1 hour or even more. Thank you so much, guys, for being awake tonight and listening to me for all this long. I love you all, and please stay in the house, stay in your homes. I believe we can do this. As human beings, we've survived so many things. Just think about it. We survived Stone Age, like human beings survived Stone Age. So, jokes aside, I really believe, we can do this. I believe we can do this together perfectly. So, I wish you guys the best, and yeah, take care.